Welcome, everyone. This is Kimberly Olson, also known as the Gold Digger Girl. And for this week's podcast, we're actually going to have a special treat because I'm interviewing Krystan Samaniego, and this is going to be episode 55. So if you have been following along, thank you so much. You can find me on iTunes at the Gold Digger Girl. I'm also on Spotify and many other platforms as well. We are live streaming this on Facebook. So hello, everyone on Facebook. If you are new to Krystan, I want you to welcome her in the comments and just say hello, new to Krystan, so that way she can connect with you and say hi to you after we are done with this interview today. So first off, Krystan, thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited to have you.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped. I knew that my audience would dig any information you have to share because your journey is just every time I think about where you've come and how quickly you have, it's just really inspiring. So for those that don't know, I mean, obviously I know a lot about you, but some of these people have never heard your story. They don't know much about you. Can you tell us a little bit about you and what it means to be Krystan Samaniego?
Yes. Okay. So really quickly, I'm Krystan Samaniego. I'm the creator of More to Motherhood. It's a multi-dimensional brand where I focus on showing driven moms that they can have more. So it's been super fun and exciting. I love empowering other moms and other women to go after their goals and crush their goals and not need any outside source to empower them except their own drive. So I do this mainly by coaching them one-on-one. My most popular training that I have going on right now is actually knowing your avatar. And so people have been having a lot of success with that. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from it of how it's changing people's businesses. So that's been super exciting. And I'm super proud of that project that I've been working on with lots of different other entrepreneurs. And then I also am known for motivating other moms and empowering them, like I said, to crush their goals and go after their dreams because we deserve it as moms. We do so much, right?
Oh yeah.
In my own network marketing company, I'm one rank away from the top. I've built a team to almost 200 strong in less than 4 months.
Wow.
And I have 7 auto bonus earners, I believe, on my team to date. So it's been super exciting because I love helping other women achieve their goals. And I know that that was on their vision board for a long time. So it's been really awesome.
That is so great. Wow, that's a powerful bio there. If you guys stay till the end too, I already got permission from Krystan. We're going to talk about her avatar training. So if you guys that piques your interest or you're like, I don't even know what an avatar is, you need the training because it'll be a game changer with your business. So stay till the end and we'll tell you how you can get your hands on that training as a gift from Krystan. So I love all of this, Krystan. And speaking of, while we're recording this, we're actually recording this and live streaming it. I picked up my oldest from Vacation Bible School, and you know, I think it was kind of overwhelming. It was her first thing to do on her own. I think I was more overwhelmed than her, but just she's home right now, and it's just all those plates that we're always juggling as moms. And like you said, it's like, what can we do to step into who we are and really show up and say, I've got this. You know, I'm an awesome mom. I'm an awesome entrepreneur, a wife, a friend, and I just love your mission of More to Motherhood. I think it's so great, and it's my jam too. Like my audience is mostly moms, so we have a lot of women moms watching this today, so this will be really good for them too. So I also know, though, it wasn't always like this for you. So can you take us back to when you first got in to business and became an entrepreneur, and what that journey has been like for you?
Yeah, so I'm sure many of you will be able to relate to this. My journey has been long. I've been in network marketing for over 4.5 years, and I wasn't always having this type of success, obviously. It was a long journey, but one thing I can say is that I'm tenacious and that I don't give up very easily. So I encourage all of you that are watching, if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not really having the success that I want yet, it's just that yet part. So I want you to keep that in mind. I actually am a busy mom to 3 children. Yes, you heard that right. So 3 children, 9, 3 and 10 months, and they're all turning 1 year older next month. So how crazy is that their birthdays are all in July?
Oh my gosh.
My son's on the spectrum, so I have a lot of juggling, as I'm sure many of you do. And my husband works a lot. He works like over 60 hours a week. He's never home. So when I was trying to build my business as an entrepreneur, I was juggling at the time mostly 2 kids because my third was just born, juggling a full-time job, juggling the kids, you know, dinners, you know, all of the things, laundry. You'll hear me mention laundry if you start following me. I mention it all the time because it's crazy, right? Never ending. But
Mm-hmm.
juggling all of those things and really trying to build my business. So I wasn't having success at first. I wasn't really sure what an avatar was. I think that part of the things that I've learned, that I've been coaching other people on, are what I didn't know and what I needed to know, or what I didn't do correctly. And then also learning what I needed to change. So then I started targeting an avatar, and then I was targeting the wrong people. So I just have made this whole transformation of going through the process and taking this seriously like a business. And that has made really all the difference for me. And I mean, it's just been an amazing journey. I feel like as a person, I've grown so much, and I think my mindset has also shifted big time. So that was really a game changer.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when you talk about the avatar, because I think sometimes like for a lot of moms, when especially if you have this drive to create a different life for you and your family, or you do it, you do the do and you create it, you really want to help people, right? Because we're just like givers and we want to help. But I think sometimes we are helping the wrong people, if that makes sense. And that's something I've learned from you. Can you talk a little bit about how you have to figure out the kind of avatar that's actually going to be able to walk alongside you and build their own business and be in a place where they can, work on themselves or make more for their family and step into that. Can you talk a little bit about the avatar piece and how you made that shift?
Yeah, so really, I mean, I'm an autism mom, right? So I was really wanting to help other autism moms, be able to stay at home more and, not have to work as much and have more time freedom, because the therapies that we were providing, and I was providing for my son, can be very expensive, even with insurance. So that was my goal, is to help that group of moms. And for one reason or another, like, they just weren't ready. They weren't ready for my help. They weren't ready for my product or service. They just were solely focused on their child at that point. And so I'm focused more now on moms. And when I started focusing on myself more, then I realized that, okay, this is what's changing. I need to focus on me first. All that attention was always on my son. And so for some, it just takes a long time to realize where the shift needs to go, whether in your target audience of who you want to help, or within yourself. And so once I realized that for myself, oh my gosh, I need to start working on me. And then that will have a trickle down effect on my son and my children. That's when I realized that I needed to shift my avatar and start focusing on the moms that wanted the help, that wanted more for their family, and that were ready for what I had to offer.
Got it. That's amazing. And if you're listening and you're just like, well, I don't really understand all of that, don't worry. She does have a training on it, but it is so huge that if you're not getting the results that you want to look at people who are getting the results and talk to those people. That's why I wanted to bring Krystan on for this week's podcast, because I think a lot of you really want to build successful businesses. You want to break free from your 9 to 5. I know that you've been able to replace your full-time income, which is amazing. And I'm coming up on my year anniversary of leaving my corporate job, and you want that, right? But you are not attracting those people, or you're not feeling confident in who you are and being clear on what you want in your life to be able to attract those people, which is why I wanted to label this today attraction marketing, because you are the queen of attraction marketing. So once you got really clear, I've noticed, because I've been following your journey, I've noticed a huge change where you just really started recruiting strongly, building your team very quickly. But it wasn't just you, and it wasn't the Krystan show. Like, you've proven it. It's a thing to get your car bonus, and you've had 7 people you've helped get their car bonus. So can you talk about how you worked on yourself and then you started showing up really on purpose on social media? Can you talk to people about the change you made, but how you're actually doing that with your social media?
Yes. And then I wanted to go back just for a second too, because I wanted to mention the whole point of when I realized that shift in my avatar and in myself was when I came to a point where my husband and I were in a difficult financial standpoint, and we couldn't offer the services to my son anymore that he needed for his therapies, and send my 2 other girls to daycare, and I needed to work full time. So that was kind of where the light switched on for me, and the fire came from, was when I was like, I have to choose. If you're a mom and you're watching, having to choose between your children is never a thing that you want to have to ever do. And so I had to take that therapy away from my son to keep my girls in daycare so that I could continue to go to work. And so use those things, those obstacles, those challenges as fuel to your fire to go after what you've always wanted. Because that's really what happened to me, is that I wasn't able to provide that for my son. And I was like, oh no, that's it. This is the last straw. I'm done. Things are going to be different. And so that was the shift for me when I started doing this attraction marketing in this business, the way that I knew I could succeed, because I knew that I could. So going back to like how I started creating my avatar and working on Facebook and speaking through that filter of who I wanted to serve. So it's really all about, and it's so funny because I just had like 2 people reach out to me within the past 24 hours being like, what are you doing? I've been watching you for so long. So
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I know, right? It's goosebumps. So this will happen to you, but the keys are, number 1 is for sure, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your social media, and you have to show up the way that you want to be seen. So you have to show up confidently. And the thing that I'm going to challenge you to do is that if you're not feeling that confident, I'm going to tell you to fake it. You want to fake it until you make it, and you are that person. You have it inside of you, but you're scared to let it out. So I'm going to tell you to fake it until you start feeling that confidence. So being confident and being consistent on your social media are 2 huge things that I've done. I show up every single day on social media. I show up on my lives. My audience knows what to expect from me. They know who I am. And I speak through the filter of my avatar, which you'll learn in the training that you're going to get at the end of this. But knowing who you're serving, what they want, what motivates them, what drives them. And then when you speak through that filter on social media, whether it be in your posts or on your live videos, those people will start coming to you, asking you questions, asking what you're doing. So, but they have to see you consistently. So I would say that's number 1.
Nice. We're going to listen in real quick just to a sponsor that I'm absolutely loving. So if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, this is just a quick little break. We're going to listen to a sponsor. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So I hope that helps. Now, Krystan, with what you said, I love that so much. Everything you're saying is amazing. And the things that she kind of glossed over it, meaning she just does it. But for a lot of you, this is a little bit of that look in the mirror moment, is the confidence and the consistency. So with the confidence, really that is telling yourself a different story every day. And Krystan and I have gotten to know each other very well. We consider each other best friends. And, you know, we've been able to go to each other when we've had, you know, roadblocks, because as you know, the more visible you get on social media, it's just, you get challenged, right? And there's things that come your way, and it can be hard sometimes, or just being a mom and juggling it all. So I've come to you, Krystan, and you've really helped me with things, but I know you also have your own mindset struggles. So let's talk about the confidence first and then the consistency. What do you do for your mindset? What are some things that everybody listening or watching could start doing now to work on their own confidence, which to me is starting with the mindset and telling themselves a new story? What do you do to work on that?
Yes, I mean, so true. Yes, so mindset is like super important. I think that's what I worked on. The first thing that I ever did before I launched my business was my mindset. I totally shifted that. So really, it's all about, if you have these thoughts that are coming into your head that are not positive about yourself, you need to reframe those, and you need to rewrite those in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And every single day, listen to yourself, tell yourself that story. So for me, what I do is I had those thoughts and I reframed them, I rewrote them down, and I recorded my voice. And I listened to it every single morning, telling myself a different story, because those things that are coming into my head that are negative are not true. And I'm going to tell you, for you, it's not true for you either. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know, all in your head. Those things are not true about you. So you can rewrite your own story. And I encourage you to listen to that and tell yourself a different story, because you're amazing and you have something to offer everyone, like we all do. So that, and then once I was clear on that, then I did some affirmations, like what were my goals that I wanted. I wrote those down, and again, I recorded it and I listened to it every single morning. And I record those with feeling, because the feeling behind it is really what makes the magic happen, because your brain is going to start to rewire itself and you're going to start seeing those things come to fruition. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it is. And what was I teaching? I was teaching something recently, and I did a bonus training on master your manifestation skills. And people think that it's a little woo-woo sometimes, or, oh, wow, she's just lucky. And it's really what, if you've ever heard, it's really preparation when it meets opportunity is what luck is. It's what you create, but it's also strengthening that muscle, you know, to have that belief in yourself that no, if I want something, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to create it. And it's just constantly, like you said, rewiring your brain. I think that's so cool because then you start to see it happening, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And then you think of another goal and it happens. And then like you, I know you'll tell me,
Now,
yeah, and you'll tell me, you're like, oh, I wrote this on the board, it's happening. I'm like, because she has this big whiteboard, which is awesome, which you all should do. But she'll just like send me pictures, you know, hey, this is happening. I put it on my board and I know it. Like, I know you're going to accomplish it. Like, it's so cool, Krystan, to watch. So y'all need to start doing mindset right away. That's amazing every day. And then the consistency. Okay, how do you do it all? Like, you have this crazy schedule and your kids and your husband, like, how do you make sure you're being consistent and keeping up with a team? And I know you do private coaching, the workshops, like your group, like, how do you make sure every day you get everything done?
well,
Sure.
really, I mean, really, I time block, and I definitely
Good.
plan what I'm going to do and what I'm going to say. So I have times that I answer my team chats along the day, and I know who is gunning for something, so they get a little bit more priority in the beginning.
Mhm.
But my whole team, I don't go to sleep without answering every single message. I have periods throughout the day where I answer those messages. I have times where I post on social media, and I know I'm not just slapping something up there, like I said before. And this is where the training comes in and where the one-on-one coaching comes in with the avatar, because I really help you speak through that filter. But just talking to your audience every single day. I post consistently on Facebook, consistently on my stories. So I schedule everything out. I make sure I have everything ready. On Instagram, I'm consistent with posting in my stories. And then on Instagram once a day, you'll see me. And then I have times for my lives when my audience can expect to see me. And I just really, you have to block it out so that you make sure that it happens. Because if you're just kind of like running by the seat of your pants, time gets away from you, especially
Oh,
as a
yeah.
mom. It's like a time
Mhm.
warp. So that's really how I'm able to make sure that I get it all done. I have like a huge calendar, you guys. I mean, I have a giant whiteboard that's magic too, that keeps me organized in my business, but I have a calendar for personal, and everything's color coded so that I don't forget to pick up my kids or this or that. So really, I think that's the key, is like really trying to be as much as you can planned out. And I have a crazy schedule, like I'm sure you do, but my schedule changes all the time. So just maybe even the night before, if you can't do a week in advance.
Yeah, because when I first started doing Facebook Lives, I was just trying to be consistent, and I would do them towards the end of the week. Just seems, I don't know, I just was trying to do them. And then sometimes I would totally miss a whole week when I first started because I had no rhyme or reason to it, and I was just talking about whatever. And you know, sometimes people would show up, sometimes they wouldn't, and I'd get some people and then lose them. And so I just, there was no consistency. But once I figured out, okay, this is the day I'm going to go. I didn't have the time down yet because I was working so much, but I'm like, I could at least tell people like I'm going to go live on this day, and then I could start promoting it a little bit. And then I just paid attention to like what topics that people were responding to and all of that. And that really helped a lot. And then I started to get some consistency down and some traction, and people started showing back up. So for you, did you just jump in and start doing lives and have your group and you're launching this big team and doing all these things? Or did you like pick one thing at a time and kind of roll it out? Like, how do you do that? Because I think this can be a little overwhelming to people. They try to be like you and they're like, they just don't even try because, you know what I mean? It's intimidating.
Yes, 100%. I agree. So what I will tell you is that don't try to do everything all at the same time, because you probably, like me, won't get anything done. So I had to pick one thing. What really helped me is I picked theme days for days of the week. So that helped me post. And then I started off with going live once a week for a month. Once I fulfilled that promise to myself that I was going to do that. And like you, I didn't pick times yet because my schedule is a little crazy, but I have commitments for days, and people know when I'm going to show up on that day, and they'll come back to my page and watch the replay if they missed it because I didn't give a specific time. But I committed to one day a week for lives. I committed to a certain number of posts per day on Facebook, and I just made that happen. So once I fulfilled that promise to myself, then I added something else the next month. And so then I went live on another day, and I added one other thing. And I just slowly increased it because when you're feeling successful, your confidence increases and then you're more likely to continue to do that task. So start off slow. I know some people are like, I'm going to go live like 5 days a week, and then go live for 5 days a week and you burn yourself out, and that's not going to help you or your audience that wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I know. It's because you have to remember it's a competitive space. So you want to, and even me, like, I know I'm kind of all over the place too, but there's a method to my madness, but it can be a lot. You know, people are like, they feel like they need to watch every single video and they can't get to it. So it can fatigue your audience a little bit, but purely for you guys and content and figuring out like who you are and how you, I love how you call it a filter. I've never heard anyone say that before. Like, what's your filter? Because really social media is perception. And you just want to show up the best version of yourself. It's not about being fake or anything like that. It's just the most positive light, because our goal is to inspire other people, connect with them, and educate them. So of course you're going to do that with a filter. So I think that's really cool that you said that, and figuring out like what is the filter, because that's what you've done so well, Krystan. Is like, it is crystal clear to me when I go on your page, like who you're talking to, what you have to offer, what you got going on. Like, I'm always seeing you posting things and successes and things you're offering. Like, it's really cool. So tell me how people can become more connected to you. Do you have a Facebook page? Where should people look for, or a Facebook group or your page? Like, where should people go to follow you?
So if you want to go to follow me, I would suggest, because my name is a little tricky, Krystan Samaniego might be a mouthful for you to try to spell out. So where I suggest you find me is More to Motherhood. I have a Facebook page and a group. So if you find me on either of those on my page and you say, hey, I want to be in your group, or if you find the group, then just fill out the questions and I'll add you to the group. So More to Motherhood as a Facebook page and a group. So either of those, you can connect with me there and I'll get you in the group, because that's where this training will be.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys are watching this on Facebook on the premiere, if you drop LINK, if you put that in the comments, to be careful what I say. If you put that in the comments, ManyChat, Messenger is going to shoot you a message, and there's a group that'll say More to Motherhood. If there's enough characters, we'll just say join group. If you click that, it's going to take you directly to Krystan's group, so it's really easy for you to find it. And then she'll approve you and get you into the group as well. And then you can just hit the follow button on her page, Krystan Samaniego. I'm going to put her in the title of this video so you can just find her there as well. And then also, since this is Tuesday, there is a webinar that happened today. So if you want the replay, just put LINK, and ManyChat will also message you. There's a recruiting an army through your customers. Terry, Carrie, and I are doing together. And so if you guys want the replay on it, you weren't able to get in it, you did have to register for it. If you go ahead and put that in there, we'll get the replay sent to you. It already happened if you guys are watching the premiere of this webinar, but we can get that to you because she's an auto bonus earner also. She is so good at building through her customer base. So we're co-teaching a webinar on how to take your customers and build your business through your customer base, which a lot of times, Krystan, you know this too, people forget that customers are our residual income.
Yes. And it was so good. So you got to get in there.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll give that to you guys as well. And then I'll be back here on Thursday at noon Central for a social media training. So thank you so much, Krystan, for being on. You are amazing. And everybody who was able to tune in, go find her. She is just a wealth of knowledge. And I'm sure she'll be back on. So until next time, go out there and crush your goals and create the life of your dreams.
Yay, thank you.